have an hour-long speech, and I want to make sure I get you out before lunch. Or at least before dinner. I want to thank you all for coming today. This is a great day. This is a great day for Interfaith. It's a great day for the Dunleith community. It's just a great day all around. No rain, so that's a good thing. So a little touch and go this morning, but I think we'll make it. On behalf of the board and staff of Interfaith, I want to thank you all for coming today. I am really, really excited that we've got such a great turnout from residents of Dunleith. Fabulous. Fabulous. If you're a resident, will you raise your hand? Great. For those of you that may not know, June is National Homeownership Month. And typically, those of you that know all about Interfaith know that we're all about homeownership. And not only is it National Homeownership Month across the country, but it's also National NeighborWorks Week, where we're a member of a national organization called NeighborWorks America. And the first week in June is always National NeighborWorks Homeownership Week. So we're celebrating, a bunch of things today. So 2 at least. But beyond just the homeownership piece that we're here to recognize and acknowledge, is we're also here to recognize and acknowledge the power of partnerships. Because projects like this can only happen through partnerships. So we're very excited today to share with you the affordable housing progress that we've made in Dunleith to date, and to celebrate and acknowledge all of those effective partnerships that have helped to make our organization successful. Here in Dunleith today, we have 4 houses under construction. 2 on Carver. We have this one here that you're in, the one across the street, and then we have 2 other projects similar to this under construction on Rogers Road. To date, that brings the total number of homes, if you include the 4 that we've got under construction now, to 18. So since 2007, roughly, we have been able to create 18 new homeownership housing units in Dunleith. And what we've done is we've primarily purchased investor-owned rental properties. We've purchased, as many of you residents already know, vacant and abandoned properties. In some cases, those that have been vacant for years, if not maybe decades. We've been able to redevelop those, repurpose those properties, and put them in the hands of first-time homeowners. So we've been very, very fortunate and very privileged to be able to do this kind of work side by side with you, the residents of Dunleith. We're also very excited about the fact that just recently, Newcastle County government has approved a reservation of funds that will permit us to do somewhere between 5 and 6 units of additional housing during 2016. So a round of applause. Thank you for your ongoing support, your recognition of the work and the impact of the work that we're doing is having in this community. The other thing that you may not know about Interfaith is that the 4 homes that are currently under construction constitute 4 of a total of 237 units of affordable housing that Interfaith has developed in Newcastle County since 2002. 237 units of housing. To put that into a different perspective, a financial perspective, with the county investment of nearly $11 million, we've been able to successfully redevelop $48 million worth of real estate in Newcastle County. Nearly $37 million of the $48 million are additional funds beyond the county's contribution that we've been able to leverage to build the nearly $50 million worth of housing that we've been successful in building. But impactful work like this cannot be accomplished without, as I said, without effective partnerships. And that's primarily what we're here to recognize today. So, first partner, key critical partner, Newcastle County government. A $1.5 million investment in Dunleith, and to date, an $11 million of support to Interfaith over the last 12 to 13 years. We have been, obviously, since 2002, we have been through a series of different county executives. So we acknowledge and appreciate all of their support, not only Tom Gordon, but previous administrations as well. But key to our successful work in utilizing county funds is Vince Garlick. Is Vince here? Yeah. Vince has always been our home contract administrator. And we really appreciate the guidance and support that he has offered us ever since we've been doing this business in Newcastle County. Second key partner for us has been NCOL Research Loan Fund. Joe and Karen Colias and Dave Callahan and Vince Episcopo, raise your hand. They provide us with key critical construction financing. We have to borrow money to build the housing that we build. They have always been there side by side with us, providing us with all the financing that we need to do the work that we do. Next is the Delaware State Housing Authority. Delaware State Housing Authority, and I see Calvin's here. I guess Susan didn't make it. Susan Eliason and Calvin and her team have been key in helping to support the work of our organization by providing us with funding that helps to provide gap financing for construction, and most importantly, affordability subsidy for the buyer. Key money, key money. NeighborWorks America. NeighborWorks America, our next partner, provides us with capital that helps us augment the money that we borrow from NFAL to build the housing that we build. Next is Petrocon Construction. To build 18 houses, we haven't always used the same contractor, but on these most recent 4, we've been using Petrocon Construction. They have proven themselves to deliver a high-quality product, and when it comes to construction management, pretty much worry-free. So that helps us, and it helps them as well. That's a great partnership. Last but not least, the Dunleith Civic Association. Part of the planning that we've done all along in terms of property selection, site selection, construction design, has been as a result of feedback and guidance that we get from the residents. But certainly we don't want to build something that's going to be contrary to what the residents need or what residents expect. So there's a lot of interaction, there's a lot of back and forth and give and take, and involvement on the part of residents in our design and execution. So let's give these partners around us. So in light of this being National Homeownership Month, I believe it's worth a reminder that homeownership continues to be the cornerstone of the American dream. Home provides shelter and a safe place where families can prosper and children can thrive. For many Americans, their home is an important financial investment. It's a great source of personal pride. It's a nurturing place. And it's a critical component for community stability. Homeownership encourages personal responsibility and the values necessary for strong families. We've seen time and time again where homeownership flourishes, neighborhoods are more stable, residents are more civic-minded, schools are better, and crime rates decline. And isn't this what we really want for all of our neighborhoods? Yes. Again, thank you for coming today. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our county partner, Sophia Hansen, who'll say a few words on behalf of the county.
Good morning, and thank you, Gary. On behalf of County Executive Thomas P. Gordon and our entire Department of Community Services team, we want to say congratulations to Interfaith. You've been our strongest housing and community development partner, so I just want to give you a round of applause. And Gary, you thanked us for the funding we provide you, and it's actually not county funding that we send to the nonprofits. We get a federal rate allocation from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. So for that, I'd like to thank Maria Bynum and the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Thank you. I'm sure most of you have read or seen what's going on along Route 9. We break ground in September on new major investment of the Route 9 Library Innovation Center, which will be a $23 million investment for the library/innovation center alone, and then further investment with the campus that we're building. So we've had a lot of interest from funders and developers who want to see the site. So our team, our housing division team, Carrie Casey, who's our director, and Vince Barlett, we've been organizing tours for business and community investors, and this street has been a major stop on all of our tours. So we want you to know that we've had a remarkable reaction to the investment you've done, not just from us, but from funders and people from all over the country who come here to see the work that we're doing. So for that, congratulations. The county executive could not be here today, so when I received the call that he wouldn't be able to make it, I made a call to someone on our executive team who's from Dunleith, and I'd like for her to come up. Wayna Dobson to come up and just give a few remarks. She's from Dunleith and has been a strong advocate for this community and for your agency. So, Wayna.
Thank you, Sophia. It is such an honor for me to be standing here. As Sophia said, I grew up here in Dunleith. My grandparents, Howard Dobson and Gloria Dobson, were one of the very first homeowners in Dunleith. And it does my heart so proud to see people that I grew up here still in the community, like Mr. Watson, who's sitting there, and Miss Wisher. Miss Wisher was my daycare teacher. So it is so wonderful to see what is going on. I appreciate the partnerships. I was really excited when I came aboard with the county to know that the county exec wanted to rebuild Route 9. And I'm excited about Dunleith going back to the community that I'm used to having here. And I want to thank all of those who participated in making other people's dreams come true to be homeowners. Thank you.
Now I'd like Sandra Smithers, the president of the Dunleith Civic Association, to come up.
Good morning, everyone. Needless to say, I am absolutely delighted to have such a beautiful day, such a wonderful turnout, and to see so many old friends and neighbors. With regard to Wayna, I knew her parents. You know, it's like a good homecoming. And so I just want to say that it's important that we do what we're doing. This celebration demonstrates what can be achieved when government, nonprofit agencies, and communities work together for a common goal. And it is in that regard that I want to acknowledge and thank some very important people, without whom occasions like this would not be possible. First, I would like to thank County Executive Tom Gordon, and I'm sorry that he couldn't be here, but this goes out to his entire staff, because they have been some of the most supportive people one could ask for, a community could ask for. And it's amazing because I've had an opportunity to interact with both of them, including, I still call him Coach Garlic, because he coached my son in high school. So it's always, he'll never stop being coach to me. So whenever I see him, I just say, hi, coach. And
We always wondered how old Vince was. Never willing to disclose that.
And, you know, the county has provided properties and houses for this project, but there's been a greater support. And when we look at developing a community such as this, we look at other things that attract homeowners. For instance, there are amenities in a community that make a community attractive. Newcastle County, under the direction and administration of Mark Williams, has really supported Dunleith in its restoration of the Surratt Pool. So at this point, we went from what would be considered a watering hole to a very attractive community pool that now engages daycares and day camps and senior citizens and just generally people from the community. So that was a major, major contribution. County Executive Gordon has always been supportive of anything that we try to do to improve this community. In addition to the pool, I think it's important that we note that there are other things that have happened with regard to the county. The county's contribution to restoring this historic community is significant. When you talk about $1.5 million toward restoration of a historic community such as Dunleith, that is major. And when you think about more to come, that the county has continued to support us, I think that is huge. And I think we need to acknowledge the county and give them another round of applause. Since 2007, the county has committed more than $4 million to restore this community. And so we really should always say thank you for that. In addition, I'd like to acknowledge and thank Gary Folio, the Executive Director of Interfaith Community Housing, for the houses they contribute to Dunleith to be restored. But more than that, I would like to draw attention to other aspects of Interfaith. They rebuild and they restore houses and sell those houses at reasonable prices to low and moderate income families. They help with financing for first-time homeowners. And they also provide home ownership classes for new prospective homeowners. So there is a greater likelihood that one who buys an interfaith house will be a good neighbor. That's very important in a community. Those initiatives are vital to the community of Dunleith. With regard to Interfaith, the staff at Interfaith is outstanding. But I would particularly like to acknowledge Omar Faust, the Housing Development Manager, who lives in the area. But with the passion he displays for this community, you would think that Omar lived in Dunleith. And then there's Karen Turner. Karen is the face of Interfaith in this community. Whether it's connecting people to people, or people to resources, or people to free air conditioners. What Karen does directly impacts the quality of life in this community. Karen connects with people in such a way that they not only know her, but they love her. And that is important. It is, however, the community itself that is the most important side of this triangle. Dunleith is represented by a strong civic association, of which I am honored to be the president. And I would like to acknowledge those members who are present because they are extremely important. And I'd like to start with our eldest member, Mr. Watson. Mr. Watson has been, most of us remember Mr. Watson from growing up. His wife rode me to school when we went to Delaware. He and his family had interacted with everyone in this community, so he is really the elder of the community. We have Mr. and Mrs. Coppin, Mr. Toppin is critical to the Civic Association because Mr. Toppin, along with Mr. Taylor, who couldn't be here, walk these streets and collect money to fund the Civic Association and the initiatives that we participate in. Then we have Mary Harley, who has been a lifelong member here. She's my sister, and our family was one of the first homeowners out here, so you can imagine the commitment there. And then we have behind her Ms. Connor. Hi, Ms. Connor. And we have Mrs. Wisher here. Mrs. Wisher has been with us for as long as I can remember. So, am I overlooking anyone?
Mrs. Broadnax.
Mrs. Broadnax. Mrs. Broadnax. Where? Oh, there she is. Under that hat, I missed you. So these members are the people who participate whenever they're asked to. They support the Civic Association. And my sister is pointing to some, Sheila Young and Jakim Mohammed. And so I just want to say thank you to everyone for everything that has taken place. And I think that with what I've outlined about the community, the government, and the nonprofits, Dunleith has a very bright future, and we're moving toward a community that is completely revitalized. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandra. I can't overemphasize enough the value and the importance and the impact of resident voices. Because, bricks and sticks and mortar and, a roof and a window, that stuff is easy to put together. But to really actually build community, that's the real challenge. And one of the things that always attracted us to Dunleith is the very strong sense of community and the high level of participation on the part of the residents in making transformative change in their neighborhood. And that's why we started here in 2007, and that's why we will be here in 2016. So thanks, Sandra. Last but not least, we'd like you to hear from a homeowner. Francis?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Especially my neighbors and Interfaith staff and partners. My name is Frances Cockcroft. I live at 456 Anderson Drive. I haven't always lived in Dunleith, but I've lived in this area for over 50 years. I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about my personal experience of living here in Dunleith. I think maybe I bought one of the first homes that was revived here in Dunleith. I bought my home in 2008 after I had retired. I was looking for, first of all, affordable housing. I wanted something in a nice, friendly neighborhood that I felt comfortable in, that was close to all my family and friends and my church, that had a big backyard so I could have a garden, and a front yard so I could have a flower bed, which I have both of those things now. And I wanted a house that was all on one level, that was easily accessible, because at my age, my mobility was getting a little bit impaired. So I've since had knee replacements, but yeah, I enjoy my home very much. I enjoy this neighborhood very much. My neighbors, I just can't say enough. I have had not one problem since I've lived here. And I am just so happy, as I think you all would agree, to see this community being revived and offering affordable homes for people like all of us and myself. And I'm just so grateful for the Interfaith organization, because when I bought my home, I was just like, oh, at my age I thought, man, I don't know anything about buying a house, but I need a house. And they were so helpful, and they just walked me through the process, and I'm telling you, they made everything so easy and wonderful for me, and I'm just enjoying my life here in Dunleith, in this community, and I thank all of you.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody could have said it any better than Francis, so I think we'll just conclude on that note. Thank you all again for coming today.